so we can start a nice family. And on it goes. People with good ideas and good intentions, they feel stuck and confused at times. They don't know where to turn. They are addicted, procrastinators sometimes, and they often feel depressed and disappointed and in pain too. Here is a suggestion. Write down exactly what you want to do in a few words. Try reading Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, and do what it says. Commit your work to God and your plans will succeed. And iJoy says, make sure that your plans include helping others in some way.
Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. At 7 I shower. Every day I wake up
For those caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Did you know a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-959-5764.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs with no hassle. Never have to clean your machine by hand again. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto, your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer, only available by calling 1-800-959-5764. That's 1-800-959-5764.
Or baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are 900 AM WURD Philadelphia and 900 AM WURD.com. Follow us on social media at 900 AM WURD.
Progressive and proud.
Black Talk Media. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any show on 900 AM WURD do not necessarily reflect those of ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Safety Talk. I'm here today with my co-host, Mr. Gregory Turner, and my name is Ben Goff. And this is a show that we're bringing to the tri-state area. It's a show based on construction safety. We have a school on the Temple campus, trainOSHA.com, where we train all different types of construction situations in scaffolding and OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety Health Administration, has several courses that they teach to people to get them in a safety situation where they have certain things that you do. You have to have training to know how to safely do the job that you're doing. Again, my name is Ben Goff. I've been in the construction industry for about 12 years on the safety side. I am a construction site safety manager, coordinator in all 5 boroughs of New York. And I'm a construction fire manager. And I'm also a CPR first aid bloodborne instructor. I teach various courses in the construction industry: scaffolding, flagging, rigging, and confined space, and various other construction courses that you have to have today to work in this construction industry. My co-host, Mr. Gregory Turner, I'm going to let him tell you his background before we get started in the show. This is our first show, and we're probably going to be on for the next 6 months, every other Sunday. And we would love for people to call in and ask us questions, anything you need to know. Basically, OSHA, which is Occupational Safety Health Administration, is just not geared to construction industry. It's geared to any work situation, any job, whether it's a hospital, school. You have rights, you have laws. OSHA is a department of the government that polices employers and employees to make sure that they're working in a safe environment and that they are abiding by government rules and standards. And in the shows to come, we will explain to you OSHA's mission and where our company, trainOSHA.com, fits in to try to help and educate people on how to work safe. And my job as a construction site manager, coordinator, is to make sure that you go home at the end of the night. At this present time, I'm working in the Trenton area. I just knocked down the largest high school in the state of New Jersey, Trenton Central High. They're going to be building a new school, and I work there on this school project with about 9 different subcontractors, probably around 90 men and women. And like I said, my job is to make sure that when they come to work, that they go home at the end of the night. So it's a serious situation. As you know, in the Philadelphia area in the last 2 years, we've had some catastrophic construction accidents where people have lost their lives. And some of that comes from people not being educated and knowing how to properly and work safely. So at this time, I'd like to bring in my co-host, Mr. Gregory Turner, to tell you about his background and how me and him partnered up. This is like a big brother to me. He's my mentor. And we've been together for almost 40 years, working in various different businesses. But lately, in the last 10 years, we have been in the construction industry, and we partnered up. He actually is my operations director for trainOSHA.com. He runs the school. And with no further ado, I'm going to bring him on.
Well, thank you, Benjamin. I appreciate that. My background in construction goes back till I was 18 years old. I went to University of Trenton, which is Trenton State back then. When I went into the Air Force, I trained in the 141 aircraft and B-52s, the design factor as well as the safety factor. I went on to go to University of West Virginia and then on to Drexel for construction management. I've been in the industry for over, I guess, 45 years. I am 65. I'm a project manager on several jobs in Philadelphia area. And Ben came to me around 15 years ago when I was doing a job for the City of Philadelphia School Board for Lynn Parker. And he came on site and he got interested in doing the safety, so I let him sit down with the safety monitor that was on site. And from there, it took off. He's learned a great deal over the last 15 years. He's indicated that he wanted to come back to Philadelphia because he moved away from Philadelphia, and he did come back in a glorious fashion. So I'm gonna let him take the show back over, and then we'll talk a little bit later. Thank you, Ben.
All right. Okay. Today on the show, on the second half of the show, we brought in a noted contractor, Volpe General Contracting, a gentleman that I grew up with for the last 30 years. We've been friends, and he's been involved in various businesses, and he lately, within the last 6-7 years, has gotten into contracting. We want people to call in. We want contractors to call in. We want commercial business owners, residential. We want any question that you might have. This show is to basically kind of educate you on different things that you need to know when you're hiring the contractors. You should always ask certain questions, because people today, they can come in and do work in your house, and if they don't have the right background or the right training, things can happen and you could be liable. So, this show is a show to educate you. Every night now we teach at the school because of the laws that have changed in Philadelphia. As of March 31st, 2016, no longer can any contractor in any capacity work in a construction entity and not be certified. And what I mean by certified is that they have OSHA, Occupational Safety Health Administration, has a 10-hour course. It's 5 hours a day. And in this course, you come in and you learn first OSHA's mission. Who is OSHA? When was it formed? Why it's important? And then you learn different topics and subjects in training of safety in the construction field: electric, carpentry, ladder safety, fall protection safety. It's a lot of rules out there that a lot of people don't know. Gregory was driving by the other day in the Germantown section and seen a scaffold that was erected that it was at least $5,000 to $10,000 in fines if OSHA would have, viewed it. And these, a lot of, like I say, it's a lot of contractors out there that are just trying to get the job done and not working in a safe capacity. It could be an accident that could cost someone their lives. I know everybody read the paper about 3 weeks to a month ago up in New York. A gentleman was sitting in his car having lunch, and a crane collapsed and fell and killed him. So it just doesn't, about workers. It could be private citizens, people, pedestrians. One of the main things in construction, when you have a job, is you have to worry about pedestrians, young children, especially at the high school that I work. You have to watch a video that the School Board of New Jersey wants all people that work on that site to understand that there are children still going to school or walking around in the vicinity, and we have to be cautious of them to make sure that they're not in any kind of danger. So it's a big field, TrainOSHA.com has been in business now for the last 10 years. I used to work for the Wilmington Job Corps, where I taught construction technology. I learned a lot by working with a lot of young students from the age of 16 to 24, basically trying to get them back into, they didn't make it the first time. The Job Corps gives you an opportunity to get your GED or your diploma, and then they teach trades. We have a lot of youth out here that basically, the average student at the Job Corps has a 9th grade education. They dropped out. So we got a lot of youth, walking around, have no background in any type of, you just, when you go to college today, you just don't have, everybody doesn't have to be a lawyer or a doctor. We need carpenters out there. We need plumbers. We need, just all different types of careers out there that you don't have to go to college for, vocational situation, and that's what the Job Corps. I had a good tenure there. I was there for about 4 years before I went to New York, and like I said, I taught construction technology. So I learned a lot there. The Job Corps is run by the Department of Labor. OSHA is run by the Department of Labor. So anybody that works at the Job Corps or is a student there has to have an OSHA 10. So, for a little time there, I was working at different Job Corps up and down the East Coast, training student and staff. In the United States, it's over 35,000 people with my name on their OSHA card. That's, it's a pretty, I've been teaching all different types of situations, different ethnic groups of people, especially working in New York. You have a lot of foreigners in the industry. So you have a language barrier, you have a lot of Spanish in the industry, Russians, Chinese. I met a lot of people from Ireland, but it gave me an opportunity, to teach different people. So, and I have a lot of fun doing it. Like I say, during the day, I work as a construction site manager on the job, and then at night, I teach. So, we please call in. The phone number here is area code 215-634-8065. So if you have any questions or need any advice, this show is going to be a platform to introduce you to contractors in the city. We're going to have guests on, insurance companies, bonding companies. We're going to always have a contractor on board so that you can talk to. So feel free to call in. This is WURD 900 AM on the radio. Gregory, you want to talk about some of the classes that we have, basically different types of students that we have been coming involved with?
Well, we have a large amount of Hispanic students that come through our class. That's initially started when we started teaching at the Beckett Life Center. And they come in and they're patient. We teach it in Spanish. We have some YouTubes that we show to them that they clearly understand. They take a test and 90% of them pass. It's a good rating. So, and then our 30-hour class, OSHA class with competent individual or the owners of the companies. We teach that too. That's a 5-day-a-week class for 5 hours, and they do very well with it. As Benjamin was talking about how OSHA works, in the city of Philadelphia, the unions usually have classes that teach the OSHA course. Like I know 332 does, 98, the Carpenters Union, and some of the other unions. But also in industries, safety comes a big part in their workforce. So lots of times we get people outside of the unions to come to the class as well, because it's required now for an owner to have a 30-hour to also renew his license. It helps out with the insurance and every aspect of construction. So it's good. We do well. Benjamin is an exciting teacher. He's not dull at all. He likes to talk loud, but he gets the point across, and he's very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable. I'm very proud of him to say that he is my little brother. But sometimes we argue, but it's all good. It's all good, Ben.
Okay. We have a call on the line, line 1. Welcome to WRD, Safety Talk.
Yes, good evening.
How you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. I woke up this morning. I'm familiar with construction and everything because when I was at a young age, I went to a vocational high school, and they gave you 3 selections, and my first selection was architecture drafting. I couldn't get that because back then, to me, the school was prejudiced.
Right.
And it wasn't, actually was none of us in that field.
Right.
For that, whatever. My second choice was interior decorating. They said that was a girl's course.
Right.
But I got my third choice, which might have been a blessing, because when I went into service, I was in the cooking field, baking field, and I didn't have to go out and try and kill nobody,
right?
Which was another blessing. But I just recently, I got into a program, one of these programs with the city, heating system. They put in a chimney liner, and I guess these guys didn't think I knew nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And after the work was completed, I noticed that they put this ridiculous chimney cap up there, which I'm going to have to get out of there. And the bricks around the top of the chimney were dislocated, and it seems like they just sat them in place. Now, I contacted the particular program, and they want to do a runaround.
Mm-hmm.
They sent their so-called inspector out, and he was, to me, nothing. What recourse do I have other than maybe suing them?
Well, basically, you get in contact with L&I and explain to them your problem. I mean, if it's a contractor that you were dealing with and he didn't want to correct the problem, well, you felt as though it was an issue as far as safety, and you felt as though maybe the building wasn't, as far as you felt as though the chimney and the bricks would fall or after the job or whatever, you need to bring in L&I. But that's what they're there for. And that's why today, they're making certain contractors, come to the table and especially being safe and whatever, because like you said, they did the job, but they didn't do the job correctly. So you definitely have to call L&I, bring them in. That's what they're there for. We have to learn how to work with, with the people that we have there for us in the city. I appreciate the call. Second call. Caller number 2. Amin?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I have a couple of quick questions. I just started up a new a real estate business or whatever. I'm a member of the Minority Business Association at the Enterprise Center, and we were looking for that OSHA training. We need a certified trainer to come here to hold the class, and I wanted to find out, is there any way that is it like a way that people that can't afford that class, because I want to try to get as many as young people as possible that that want to get into the field but that don't know, have no clue and might not have the money to pay for their class.
Okay.
Way that we can work something out to help, to bring that to the table.
Okay. Well, I'll answer your questions. Yes. TrainOSHA.com is a school. It's not free. It is a fee according to how many people come. If your organization and you have more than 1 or 2 or 3 people, definitely we do work with you. And it is some city and state grants or whatever out there that could probably exercise in helping you pay, especially if it's a nonprofit organization. We can look into it for you. We're not expensive. You do have a lot of different businesses out there that do safety. For the 30-hour course, we only charge $350. I heard that the going rate out there is somewhere around $500 to $600 for the 30-hour course. 30-hour course is 6 hours a day, Monday through Friday. You have to, do 30 hours for a 30-hour card. And the 10-hour course is only $175. And we've seen some different organizations out there that charge about $250 for the certification. As we told you earlier, like if you're a member of a union or, some organizations and jobs and companies, they pay for it for you. But if you're a private individual, it is a cost. They do have online situations where you can go online. And like I say, there's several companies out there. I have a brother that I came up in the business with, Qasim Ali, has a company out there called Safety First. I'm going to plug him, because it's enough out there for all of us. I'm a different type of teacher, like Mr. Turner told you, I enjoy what I'm doing. I bring a different style to it because you're dealing with a lot of different types of people. In this training, the average student is 45, 50, even in the 60s. They haven't been in a school situation in years. So that's why they call us an outreach instructor, because what happens is I deal with people individually because of their skills, and I have to learn how to adjust and teach because it's a lot of information. This is some very, very important information. And, sometimes, like I say, people haven't been in a school situation for 20 years or 30 years. So I have to learn how to adjust and so that they comprehend and they get something out of the class. I mean, it's no one that comes to my classes and walks away with not saying, well, they learned something. I didn't know that, or, this is something that I wasn't aware of, because there's so many different rules and regulations, and it's just a lot out there. So the school is trainOSHA.com. We're located, our Temple University area, 1410 North 16th Street. It's called the Beckett Life Center. And we hold classes Monday through Friday. We acquired another school in the Northeast area that we're going to be working on Saturday and Sunday mornings. So we're here to accommodate everyone because we know that it's an issue that people need. You want to go to line 3?
Thank you.
Yes, hello. Welcome to WURD, Safety Talk.
And good afternoon. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
here.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I'm just calling to, first of all, say thank you to Word and to you guys being on. I'm across from Gardner City. There was some demolition that is being done right now where I cross children at.
Okay.
And I took it upon myself, me and my coworker at the next corner. We rerouted the children to the other side of the street. Everything is up safety-wise, but I went to talk to the gentleman that was running the project.
Right.
I learned a lot from him. I asked a lot of questions.
Yes.
And I'm just saying that I'm glad that what I did ask, you guys talked about today as far as safety of the neighborhood, the children, the asbestos, because it's a very old building.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
The EPA had to come into there. I'm just calling to say thank you.
Okay, and thank you. I appreciate the call.
Because we as people need to know our neighborhoods is construction going up constantly.
Right.
And nobody asks a question.
Right.
And that's not good.
Right. Yes,
so
ma'am.
Thank you, gentlemen, and have a blessed
Okay,
day.
please tune in. We're going to be on the air for the next 6 months, every other Sunday, until we probably can maybe get another hour in and, do the show every week. But like I said, this is the first show. I have to, adjust to my market out there and see, what people's questions are. I mean, this safety thing is major. Just like she said, if the people at home, if they don't know different things, and a lot of people don't even know what OSHA is. They don't have, when you go to your job, like I said, it's just not construction. OSHA's in every work area. The only people that are not held by OSHA standards are people that don't work. But if you have a job, when you go in your break room or you go anywhere in the lunchroom or wherever, it's supposed to mandatory be a OSHA poster on the wall to tell you what your rules and the standards are. You have laws as a worker. You have laws as a owner of a business. So we're going to go to commercial, and we'll come right back. And I have Mr. Nicholas Volpe in the studio with me this week. Every week we're going to have someone in the field to give you some information on what you need to know. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is WURD 900 AM on your radio, and this is Safety Talk. We're TrainOSHA.com, a construction management company in the tri-state area. My name is Ben Goff. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Gregory Turner. And, that was the first half hour of the program. And like I said, I want everybody to, every week we're going to do something different. We're just, like I say, it's our first show. We're trying to feel it out, see where our audience is. This construction thing is major. As you know, last week, I guess it's been a week and a half now, we had a situation in town with a school bus that was parked next to a construction, and the wall collapsed. Luckily, the gentleman that was driving the bus, no kids were on it. He said he had just dropped them off. But it was a situation where contractors and people in powers that be should have been a little bit more on point. My show is not to come down on anybody, the city, contractors or whatever. I'm here to let you know that it's somebody out here that you can call that can advise you. One of the strongest things out here today in anything that you do is education and communication, and especially in the safety field, communication is very important. When I'm on job sites, some of the guys at first, they can't stand the safety manager. They think that we're like cops, we're there to send them home, shut the job down. How can I make money if I shut a job down? If there's no job, it's no money. So it's not the way I look at it. When I go to work every morning, like I tell you, first and foremost, my job is to make sure that you go home at the end of the night, because if something happens on my watch, that's something that I have to carry with me. And in this industry, people, that's the guy, Ben, that guy that lost his life was on his job or whatever, and I'll never work anywhere. So, and I'm crazy about it. When I go to work, it's guys that don't like to wear certain safety equipment. It's safety equipment in the construction industry is called PPE, personal protective equipment. The hard hat that you wear, the steel toe boots. You have a lot of men want to come to work with their sneakers on. Figure they paid $150 for some sneakers. I'm going to wear them to work. Well, you can't wear them to work. You need to have things in place to protect your toes. You have things to protect your eyes. Why would you work around something that can put your eye out? Well, I don't want to wear the glasses because they steam up, or they're encumbrance, or they're scratched up. Well, don't scratch them up. You'd be shocked what they say to me sometimes. Certain things you need to wear in construction. Definitely for steel toe boots is number one. You need to wear protective eyeglasses. You need to wear a hard hat. Something can fall and hit you in the head. And so that's why hard hats. And when you go to construction sites, before you even enter the site, they say on the front signage, hard hat area. Must wear hard hat, must wear safety glasses. So there are all different types of rules and regulations and things that you have to abide by. If you work for some major companies in this construction field, when you're a new worker and you come on site, you have to come and sit down with me, and I give you a safety orientation. The School Board of New Jersey, who I work for now, actually has a 15-minute video that I have to show every new employee. I don't care whether you've been in the business 30 years. You have to watch this, and you have to sign paperwork saying that you saw the video and that you understand this particular company's safety rules on a job. So it's a lot out there, and it's very interesting. I always have people come up to me and say, well, how could I be a safety man? I want to walk around all day and, like I'm not doing anything, but to watch someone is just like watching a young child grow up. I'm watching grown people, doing their work. And I'm the one that if I see something that I feel is dangerous, I'm going to make a comment. So like I say, in the beginning of a job, they don't particularly care for you, but then at the end, their wives are calling me, telling me thank you for making sure that my husband comes home. The construction business is beautiful, man. It's, I've never met a construction worker that's not happy. We have fun, especially on break time. We sit around and we all look around, see who brought what for lunch. They're switching sandwiches, or they go out, or a truck pulls up, a vendor. And we bond because we're working together. And you have to have that type of conscience, because something that a person could do could cost you your life. So you have to be aware. It's a very dangerous field, but it's a good lucrative field. Like I said, I've never met an unhappy contractor. The average contractor today, or worker, laborer, operator, they make over $1,000 a week. So, you know, it's everybody comes to me every day. Well, how can I get into business? So, you know, this is WURD 900 AM. If you want to call in, have some questions. I'm going to bring on now our guests. Like I say, every week we're going to bring different people in. Next week we're going to have some people from the insurance end of the construction industry. But at this time, I'd like to bring in Mr. Volpe that has a contracting company. He's out of South Philly. He's fabulous. He builds from the ground up. He's very, very strong on safety for his workers. He brought his whole team to me, over 30 different people that he's involved with and he interacts with in the Philadelphia area. He's at least 30 people he's brought to the school to be taught. So he's very cautious about that. Mr. Volpe, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Ben. My job is general contracting to make sure that even anybody I hire should have an OSHA card on my job. Also, safety is very important when you're using three-story buildings and you have no stairwells. You need ladders and you need to be tied back, and people need to watch what's going on around the jobs. Like Ben said, safety is very important even when you're working on scaffolds. When you're working on scaffolds, you have to make sure you don't step over the side and hit a board that flips over. The board's got to be placed right on top of each other. Everything needs to be leveled, tied back. It's a real big, serious situation out there with OSHA. It's very serious. Safety comes first before anything. And all my guys I hire, I stress that all the time. Like Ben said, hard hats, boots, you know, anything that you need eye protection when you're using washing the front down for acid washing. You need special rain suits on. So safety is a very big thing.
Mr. Volpe, let me ask you a question. Have you ever, in your endeavors and work in construction in Philadelphia, have you ever had an inspector come on your site? Have you ever been cited by OSHA or know anyone? You know, what happens on that end?
Well, I've never been cited, thank God. My sites are always cleaned. If there's any stairwells open, they need to be railed, guarded off with rails. I've never been cited, thank God. You have to run your site really, really, really safe. You know what I mean, Ben?
Murad, in your tender, I mean, you did some work for the school board of Philadelphia. You built all the super fields, and you worked major projects. I was on one project. You were at Overbrook High School, and you worked sites. Have you ever been in a situation where OSHA or someone from L&I came up?
Well, no, I've never been, but I've seen situations where OSHA years ago would take pictures and then they would come to your site. You wouldn't even know they're in the neighborhood. Then they would come to your site and show you the violation. I've seen people get violated for around $7,000, and you would have to fill out all these forms and go to a hearing and so forth and so on. And sometimes you can rectify the violation, and they'll give you a breather on it to decrease your violation as far as your fine is concerned. But usually with the school board, they're very strict in their safety policy. They have a third-party safety individual on site, the same work that you do, as hired by the contractor, the general contractor. And then it becomes a responsibility, like my job as a project manager, to go behind him. If he has a problem with some of the workers, I will come back and enforce him to understand that this is his job and you have to pay attention to what he says to you. If he tells you to put your gloves on or put your hard hat on and you don't have the right particular equipment, so forth and so on, then I would enforce his policy. So okay. We see things like that on an everyday basis. So
yeah, Mr. Volpe, yes, when you get a new contract or someone, even commercially, let's just say residential, do people question you about your workers, or how do you ensure them that when you're on this job that you're going to make sure that everything is safe and you're looking out for things that won't come back on them? You have a lot of contractors today. I heard even you speak on one time that you were working on a house and the neighbor next door, complained that whatever you were doing affected them. And so how do you deal with situations like that?
Well, situations like that, Ben, it's just so much involved. Soon they see a good contractor come in, you know what I mean? Anything could happen at that point, you know. Like on that point you just said, refresh me on that again?
Well, you had told me that you were doing a job on a house and the neighbors said that water was coming in their house because of the work that you were doing and that they actually was trying to sue you. I mean, because they had damage because of your work.
There was actually two houses. When we tore off the roof, there was a house on the right side, which was practically new. People lived in it, and then there was a house on the left side where it was probably sitting there for like 30 years. And when we cut the roof off, the one gentleman on the left-hand side said he was taking water, and there was actually no water. So it's called, like, they, see a good contractor, and right away they think they could get money and sue,
Right.
So, I mean, you have a lot to deal with the contractor. You have to make sure that anytime you do cut a roof off, you make sure you waterproof their sides immediately so you don't have this kind of problem.
Right.
And Nick, can I ask you this question?
Yes, sir.
I know a lot of people, when they tear houses down and you have a wall that hasn't been torn down as a row home, underpinning. Is that a big problem?
Underpinning is very important when you're tearing houses down. Safety is bracing, a lot of bracing. You need to do a lot of bracing. When you're underpinning, you can only do sections at a time, and then have the inspectors come back out and check your work before you can go on to another section and make sure they're cured and properly done.
Right.
Take pictures of everything you do. I recommend when you're doing a job like that, take pictures. This way, if anything ever happens, you could always fall back on your pictures.
Good. Glad to have you, man.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's good to hear it from the horse's mouth or the contractor. It's tough out there. And, you got a lot of referrals out here. Sometimes a person or a contractor can do good work for you and you refer them to someone else and they might not have the same success. And one of the things of this program as we go on is that we want to not say that we're going to insure someone or put our name on it, but we want to put together different contractors and let people know that there are some good people out there, and that if you ever have questions, you can always call out to us because, TrainOSHA.com, I mean, we, within the last 3 months, have probably certified over 500 contractors. So we meet people every day, we network. Me and Murad put a nice list together of different contractors. You have all kinds. You have electrical contractors, you have carpenters, you have plumbers, you have people like Mr. Volpe that are builders that build from the top up. The situation that we have at the Beckett Life Center, I want to definitely put a shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jeffrey Smith, and Carol Smith. They basically opened the door for us, letting us use the center for teaching. It's the Beckett Life Center on the 1400 block of 16th Street. They have the Beckett complex there with several apartments that Mr. Smith and his wife have definitely, they have a beautiful center there. We teach at night. During the day, they have daycare, they have senior citizens, they have all different types of activities, and it's on the Temple campus, very easy to find, and we have met some beautiful people. We have people from all over coming down to the school and getting this training. A lot of different people. As Mr. Turner said, we actually teach the class in Spanish. I kick myself every day that when I was in high school, I had a work roster and I had to cut a couple classes to have and be able to get out of school by 11 to be to work by 12. So I had to cut out typing and Spanish and gym, boy. And listen, I could have did without the gym, but typing, I wish I could still, learn how to type. I look sometimes, see some of these good ladies out there using the typewriter. I don't even look at it. Don't get nothing wrong. And definitely Spanish. I mean, wow. The industry and construction is infiltrated by a lot of people from the Spanish. They're just good laborers, good craftsmen. Like I said, in the industry now, we have a lot of foreigners. I was up in New York for 6 years, and I'm telling you, I was on projects that were run by people from China, projects for people from Russia, and it's just major. And I'm glad, and like I say, I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Smith at the Beckett Life Center for opening up that platform for me. And I definitely want to thank WURD 900 AM for giving me an opportunity to put this show together. We're going to go to break, and we'll be right back. This is WURD 900 AM. right, we're back on WURD 900 AM on your dial. This is Safety Talk with Ben Goff from TrainOSHA.com. I'd like to let you know at this time, all the music that you hear is complimentary from the Jazz Kitchen, which is a jazz show that I have on YouTube with Brother Ben, the Jazz Kitchen. So every week, the music that you hear will be different artists that we're going to feature. But at this time, we have Marie on the phone from North Philly. How you doing, Marie?
Hi, good afternoon. I admittedly, I just joined in maybe about 20 minutes ago. I was in another part of the house, so I missed the radio of the early part of the show. But I wanted to ask a question, since you're discussing contracting and all. I have a neighbor who worked on a house, who totally gutted and rehabbed a house. Mm-hmm. And with all the wall work, it sounded like they were really knocking that wasn't coming into my house. And so I complained about it. I asked them, how much you're going to hammer the walls. And they said, well, we're going to put up all new drywall. We're going to do all of that. Mm-hmm. But it turns out it's been a couple of years now, and they did a great job on the house. But I can smell the interior of his house.
Wow.
The interior, whenever he smokes his cigars or cooks, my house fills up with every single thing.
Wow. Well, let Mr. Turner give you some advice on that one. Greg, I know you know a lot about building.
Marie, do you live in a row home?
I have an end unit, and he's a next door person.
But you have a wall that connects to his, right?
Yes.
Well, sometimes, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but sometimes some people, they don't insulate that wall to prevent the smells and things to come back through the wall. But there's always going to be some type of seepage that comes through. Even a brand new house, there's some type of seepage that's going to come through the wall. So you'll smell the smells. How strong it is, I don't know, because I'm not there. But sometimes when you put insulation back in that party wall, that will eliminate some of those problems.
Yeah, Marie, let Mr. Volpe, which is a contractor, maybe he has so he can bring more to the table on that for you.
Thank you, Ben. Is that a new home you live in, or is that just an older style house?
This has been around in North Philly probably for over 100 years, but I've been in this house for over 30. And the house next door had been empty for a couple of years, and he took it over and did a great job and everything. He insists that he insulated the walls, but when people walk in my house and think I'm smoking a cigar whenever he cooks or burns or does his laundry. My entire house smells like his house, and I've developed a health issue as a result of the cigar smoke filling up my house. And I don't know. It's like the walls or something were compromised, and I don't know what else to do.
Oh boy!
Marie, my advice to you at this point is to get in contact with L&I and see if you can reach out to them, and see if someone can come by, and let them explain to them what happened. Because, see, one of the things that Mr. Volpe was bringing to my attention that we need to discuss with our people out there in radio is that you need to check people's credentials and make sure that they, have the proper credentials. They have license, they have bonding, because if they have bonding, they have insurance, they have a way and an engine to, if they did get into that situation, to be able to correct it. So my number, if you want to write down, is area code 215-678-0470, TrainOSHA.com, and you can get back to us without the show, and if I'll try to find some avenue or how to help you in that situation. But Marie, thank you for calling. I have another caller, Olivia, from Queen Village.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
I'm okay.
Good.
I have a question. I listened to the top of the program, and I just basically wanted to find out if your program is geared towards non-union businesses and their workers, because as a former building trade worker, in 1992, the skilled building trades started their own, OSHA occupational safety program, which you said you've been doing this for 12 years, which you're probably familiar with.
Okay. Olivia.
I'm sorry. This is Gregory Turner.
Okay.
Our program is geared to both union and non-union. Yes, the unions do have schools that they send their members to to get trained by OSHA, and they've been doing that for years. Some of our classes are geared mainly to non-union personnel, and some of them geared to union personnel. Depends.
Yeah, I actually work for a lot of unions in New York. I worked at several unions at their school. What it is, Olivia, is that if you are in a union, naturally they give you that training for being part of the union. Now, we have a lot of union workers that come to our school and pay us because they don't want to take off work to go to the union school. Right. Because when they go to the school, they have to take off of work and they lose money. So there's going to be, like I say, construction workers make a lot of money. The average construction worker probably brings home $200 a day. So if he loses 5 days, that's $1,000 a week versus a course that's only $350. It's worth for them to pay for it out their pocket. But, you know, we're here for everybody. You'd be shocked. You know, you have builders, contractors, people in the real estate business, all different entities. Like I said to you, OSHA's just not construction. OSHA's involved with hotel businesses. I train a lot of front desk people for different evacuations. Safety plays a part in everything. When you go in arenas, it's a reason why the trash can is on another side, because it could be a tripping hazard. It's a reason why certain stairways are, you know, it's major, you know. And like I say, as the show goes on, basically, you know, you're going to hear a lot about where safety plays. This is trainOSHA.com. We're going to be on WURD 900 AM probably for the next 6 months, every other Sunday at 4 o'clock. You know, like I said, I appreciate the opportunity that 900 has given me to try to have a platform for construction safety in the tri-state area. We're going to use this program to network with people out there. We're going to try to use this program to just basically educate people. That's my whole forum at this time. The company, again, is trainOSHA.com. We're located at 1410 North 16th Street in the Temple campus area. We're between Jefferson and Master Street. The phone number to the office is 215-678-0470. Again, 215-678-0470. We're coming up against the clock. Before we leave, I'd like to have Mr. Turner give us some closing remarks.
Radio World, it's important that you, if you're in the industry, the construction industry, or just in the industry by itself, safety is just like going to war. You want to come home safely. You want to go to safety. You want to come home safely. You want to be able to perform your job. So that's how you have to look at it. You get up in the morning. You want to be able to go back to sleep at night. Okay. So till next in 2 weeks. We see you in 2 weeks. Safety first.
Right. Mr. Volpe, before we leave, closing remarks? Or
well, like Mr. Turner said, always when you get up in the morning, even when you're driving, it's safety. Everything is safety from when you leave to when you come home.
All right. All right. We're going to have some advertisements out on different things, advertising the school. As you know, we have a location in North Philly, and we have a new location in the Northeast. Again, I want to iterate. I have other people in the industry that I want to shout out to. Mr. Qasim Ali with Safety First. I have another partner that I work with, Mr. William Edmonds, that is a safety monitor out there on sites all over the city. I want to put a shout out to USA Environmental that I've been working with last year and a half up in Trenton. So I appreciate your time today listening to me out there in Radio World. Again, this is WURD 900 AM, trainOSHA.com.
Universal Auden Reed Charter School is looking for talented and motivated teachers for grades K through 12. If you are certified, energetic, and ready to change the landscape of education in Philadelphia, you must attend their open house on Saturday, April 16th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at 3301 Tasker Street in Philadelphia. To learn about their commitment to urban education and speak with current school leaders and teachers about the various opportunities throughout the Universal family of schools. RSVP today to Jay Young at universalcompanies.org or visit universalcompanies.org. The Nick Taliaferro Show.
With Nick Taliaferro.
Mayor James Kenney, now that you are the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, what things are you finding different from what you thought they might be, and what things are you enjoying most?
Yeah, I was in office for almost 24 years as a city council member, and I never understood what it meant to be mayor as far as how people look at the office. It's not really about me, it's about the office itself.
Right.
When you're the mayor, it's even beyond you. It's really very important. And again, it's kind of like the President of the United States at some level, because people identify with the office as much as they identify with the person.
Check out the full podcast now on 900AMWURD.com.
Don't miss the Nick Taliaferro Show, Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. exclusively on 900 AM WURD.
And 900AMWURD.com.
Every day, we go about our lives driven by routine, our vision clouded by the very normalcy we take for granted. Countless victims of human trafficking walk among us, invisible. It's time to open our eyes. The Blue Campaign provides a unified voice for those who combat human trafficking, whether it's forced labor, domestic servitude, or the sex trade. Learn what you can do to help by visiting dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Ely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-963-5695. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-963-5695. 1-800-963-5695.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues designed to help you help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
We are 900 AM WURD Philadelphia and 900 AM WURD.com. Follow us on social media at 900 AM WURD.
Progressive and proud.
Black Talk Media. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any show on 900 AM WURD do not necessarily reflect those of ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.